You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN E-Mini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Well, let's go!
New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-Mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-Mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Friday, 12th day of July, 2019. So glad to have you with us on this fine overcast here in Phoenix, Valley of the Sun, Friday, overcast Friday morning. They say our monsoons are on the way, so looking forward to that as always. If you've never been in a tropical storm with strong winds and torrential downpours, you should pencil Phoenix in as a place to visit during the month of July, late July, early August. We don't get a lot of rain here, but when we do get it, we get it in July and August. Anyway, welcome to the show. So glad to have you here, whoever you are, wherever you are. The important thing is that you are right here, right now. And that's where we want you to be. I have a chart up of the S&P 500 E-mini futures, as I do. That's a daily chart. We'll talk about it in just a second. If you can't see the chart, go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side, click the big microphone, Follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds, and that will give you one-click access to the show each and every day. On the days you're not in the office, away from your desktop computer, go to youtube.com/CFRN/live. There you will find a live, real-time simulcast of the show as it unfolds. Brought to you by the good folks at YouTube. Thanks, YouTube. Get a new bell. Thanks. All right. So, S&P 500. It's the weekend. Friday. Everybody's been working for the weekend. Now here it is. What you going to do with it? Right here. See where I drew the little trend line? From this swing low to this swing high. Shallowest possible retracement for the S&P 500 is either the 24% fib or the BBC. Price is coming to one of those near you. Let's put a fib on here. Let's see just where that is. Now, this is based on this session's high so far. And that price is 3,012.75, which is a new all-time historic high. And we've talked about what happens each time we put in a new high. We don't tend to just keep running and gunning, but in fact, we put in a nominal new high, roll over, get a retracement, and then another leg. Okay, if we don't go any higher than we've already gone in this session, then the shallowest possible pullback will be to the BBC, which is roughly 29.65. Okay, you can see it right here, 29.65 half. Below that, we have the shallowest fib, which is a 24% fib, very shallow pullback, and that's at 29.46 half. We were having this conversation the other day, a similar conversation, and that's why I drew this trend line. We appeared to have a pullback underway. We did have a pullback underway. It, however, did not come all the way back to the BBC. Now, let me recreate what it looked like the other day. Grab this. Just going to pull it down to that previous swing high. Okay, based off the previous high. Here was the fib, and the BBC was right about here. Not yet. So now we adjust it for today's high. Swing low is still the same. Swing low to the swing high. So we're talking about an area right now for that pullback somewhere between 29.46 half and 29.65 half. Yes, that is a 10-point difference. Should we have some good volatility on this? We certainly should. Question is, what are we going to end up doing today? More importantly, what's it going to look like Sunday night when Globex opens? Let me go over the numbers with you for the day, the cash markets around the world. Then we'll go to Michael, get a recap of what happened in the live training room. I'll be back. We'll break down the charts. We'll talk about Concierge. We'll talk about the Logic 247. I do want to welcome all new passport holders who participated in last week's open house 4th of July special. You were able to lock in for yourself that lifetime rate on the passport, and I'm excited to be able to work with you and watch you on your journey as the world changes. These are exciting times. All right, around the world, cash markets. Going to start here in the U.S. with the Dow. As soon as I get some fresh data. Got a little bit of news for you too. Oh, the Karatbars webinar last night. I do have a video of that. I haven't checked to see if it has audio. I suspect it might not. It is in the Karatbar Telegram channel. And Valerie will put a link in the chat box, please, so that you can take a look at that if you were unable to tune in live last night. All right. Fresh data. The Dow currently up 140 points, half of 1%. NASDAQ up 30. S&P 500 up 5. And the Russell 2000 up 9. That's also half of 1%. In the commodity basket, crude oil up 27 cents, trading 60.47 last. Gold up $4.80. Go gold, trading 14.1150 last. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei posted a gain of 42 points. Shanghai was up 13, and the Hang Seng gained 40. And in European markets at the close, FTSE was down 4, DAX was down 9, and the CAC posted a gain of 20 points. No movers and no shakers there. That gives us a green day in the Asian markets, a mixed day in the UK, and here at home, it is a big green Radio Friday so far. Let's go to Michael, get a recap of what happened this morning. I'll be back. We'll talk to John. All that and answers to your questions. Take it away, Michael.
Okay, I will take it. And we had just 6 trades this morning, so this is probably going to be quick.
All right.
And that person that I told you about, I just got notified, is going to be here in 10 minutes.
All right.
So, here we go. All right, I have the charts, and I'm going to do this like I always do. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the homepage at cfrn.net, and in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial right there. Apply.cfrn.net. You click on that, and you are going to be brought to this page where all you have to do is give us your name, your email, and your phone number. And you can tell us about your biggest trading challenge so we can tailor the training to you. Hit the send button and you'll be sent a confirmation. Well, you'll be sent all the information you need to get into the live training room. Okay. Now the spreadsheet. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Okay. Today, as I said, is the 12th day of July 2019. We made 2 ticks in soybeans. We actually traded soybeans today. We made 6 ticks in crude, 2 ticks in gold. Put us at 105 again, 2 days in a row at 105. Today it took 118 minutes to get the goal for the day. 118 minutes to get the goal for the day. At that point, we're up 6. I'm sorry. 118 minutes in 6 trades to get the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $105 a contract. And we really only took a total of 6 trades today. So on the month now, we're at $987. That's over 9 days, averaging $109 per day. On the year, we are now up $15,535. That's over 122 days, averaging $127 per day. Okay, now you got to keep that in perspective. Okay, because it's one contract, 2 hours per day, and I'm doing a million different things. So, if you are focused and you are trading just one market, you would probably do better than that because I miss a lot of trades. But let's go over it all. Okay, because today we had a couple of trades on gold. We had this one right here where we picked up 1 tick, and this one right here where we picked up. So there should still be some volatility in the grains. But sadly, it was just a little bit. And we picked up 2 ticks right here. Okay, so the same trade setup works across all markets, all time frames. We could choose any market we want. And I'm going to find a market that's going to give us more volatility. I'm thinking maybe the yen, but I'm not sure. Anyway, in here on the crude, there was this huge move up in the pre-market, but we didn't have a trade setup that we could do. Well, it wasn't actually the pre-market. It was right at the open. But still, we didn't have a trade setup that we could do. The only trade setup was on the downside right here. Then we got up here, and it would have been a momentum trade going in dynamic resistance. We can't do that. So we had to wait, and we grabbed, what did we grab on that? 1 tick on that one, a break even here, and then +5 here to get us at +6. This is where we got the goal for the day, right here. Okay, and good, I'm glad they came back. Right now it's starting to set up a long trade. Okay, starting to set up a long trade. Okay, and that was crude oil today. Nothing on the ES. Look at how choppy this was today. And we didn't get anything on the ES, sadly. And during the break, still nothing during the break. Okay. All right. And so we'll go back to the spreadsheet. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you're going to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today we traded soybeans and made 2 ticks. Crude oil, 6 ticks. Gold, 2 ticks. Put us at +105 this morning. Today it took 118 minutes and 6 trades to get the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $105 a contract. And that was all we did this morning. Okay, so on the month now, over 9 days, we're at $987, averaging $109 per day. On the year now, we're at $15,535. That's over 122 days, averaging $127 per day. Okay, $127 per day. Whew. If you have not taken the free trial with us, go to the home page here at CFRN.net. And right here it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. Click on that, and you'll be brought to this page where all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. And you can tell us your biggest trading challenge so we can try to tailor one-on-one training to you. Okay. Hit the send button, and you'll be sent all the information you need to take our 5-day free trial. Luxurious 5-day free trial. All right. And speaking of luxurious, we'll pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona. Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park, where Dwayne with luxurious mane is probably sitting in his chair.
Standing. I stand for a living now.
Oh, okay.
Say if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So.
Okay, well that's right. You stand now. I have to. I mean, in the morning, I have everybody remind me now about my posture. Because
that's nice.
If you sit in a chair too long, it's just bad for you.
Sitting is the new smoking. Recap of the recap.
Today, Dwayne, it took 118 minutes and 6 trades. I didn't write it down, but it took 118 minutes and 6 trades to get to $105 per contract. So we did get the goal for the day.
That's good bingo. Did you already answer Brad's question?
Nope.
Okay.
Let me look, see what it is. I don't have my question box up. Brad, Euro not volatile enough. It was just parked today, Brad. So I took it off and put soybeans up because we had the grain report yesterday. So I was hoping for a little more volatility in the grains.
That report typically comes on the 12th, I thought, but it came yesterday, the 11th.
I think it comes on the second Thursday.
Okay, there we go. That's probably what it is. That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, while I got the yen up there, I mean, I got the soybeans up there, and I'm gonna look at the yen and see what it's like. And if it's got volatility, then I'll trade that. The beauty of it is you can trade anything. You can, it's the same trade setup, same time frame, same everything. You can trade anything you want.
What he just said, guys, is very important, because 99% of the places you take a look at, they're going to tell you got to trade soybeans one way and gold another way and the S&P 500 another way, because they all have different personalities. And they very well may. They may have different personalities. Some like movies, others like long walks on the beach. I don't know. But we're not looking to date. We just want to put on a high probability trade. And the high probability setup is identical in every market and every time frame. So that really makes things simple for you. Not easy. There is no easy button in trading, but it can make it simple. Simple by design. We've worked very hard. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into our very simple methodology. And that reminds me, all new passport holders, please get yourself your first mentoring session booked next week, so we can get any initial questions covered, answered, out of the way, and let the learning process begin. All right. Here's a 4-hour chart of the yen. I'm no big fan of the 4-hour chart. I'm not a fan. I just don't use it very often. Sometimes I will look at it if I don't get any clarity from a 30-minute or an hourly. Let's go 30 minutes and see what the yen looks like. Okay. Now, on a 30-minute chart, we had bullish cross, price pulled away, price pulled back, and the BBC held more often than it doesn't. Now, you would look at this candle and go, yeah, but wait a minute, we closed below it, and this candle opened and closed below it. Yeah, it did. It did. This is discretionary trading, so sometimes to use your eye, you have to use, some judgment. What you see in the live training room in the morning is 100% rules-based. It is a mechanical methodology. It is done that way so that you learn you learn how to spot and utilize the underlying rhythm of the market. So when we go from the 4-tick range to the 30-minute, nothing really changes other than the amount of risk that's required for some of the trade setups, and a little something like here, okay? In the moment, you might say, looks like it's not holding. Okay, so if you were short down here, no harm, no foul. But it held because the third candle later, you're back above the BBC, and you might take a screenshot of this little scenario right here, because look at what sellers did. Sellers really tried to drive this thing down. That's a pretty bearish 30-minute candle. This is a candlestick signal in and of itself. And then once we close back above, I look down here, blue and climbing, you're above that 50-yard line. Blue and climbing kicks in here. And so this thing runs up from, and this is one of the reasons I don't do the yen and a lot of the currencies, is all the digits get a little confusing. What are you using? What's your per tick value on the yen, Michael? What are you, still there? I lose my audio? Okay. So I'm assuming you guys can hear me. I'm not sure. Still dealing with this audio issue. Running tests on the router, trying to figure out where the packet loss comes in. Intermittent packet loss. If I can't prove that the router's faulty, I guess I'm just going to replace it anyway. And I don't have to have a fancy router. Go ahead.
It's just a matter of elimination, right?
Well, we've eliminated, the only thing left is to replace the router, even though I can't find any obvious problems with it. And after that, I don't know. I really don't know. So what's the tick value on the yen?
I honestly, I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I would have to look it up.
Oh, so you weren't using the yen
Um,
this morning. You were using soybeans, right?
No, I wasn't. Yeah, I
Okay.
was using soybeans. I was just talking about going to the yen
Gotcha.
as an option.
Yeah.
And
So here's
you know, maybe
soybeans
next
this
week.
morning. And same thing, guys. Price pulls back. It holds. And there we go. Now, I'll break this down to a 4-tick range. Soybeans. Now, here's the entire day session on soybeans. Actually, soybeans open, is it 10:15, 10:30?
I think it's soybeans. I think they open at 10:30.
Yeah. Now, Globex overnight trading, that opens at 8 p.m. Eastern. But what they call the day session begins right in here. And move to the downside. Now this is just a gift. Leg, retracement to the BBC, another leg. Soybeans, I do know those pay $50 a point. There's 4 ticks to a point, $12.50 per tick, just like the S&P 500. 4 ticks to a point, $50 a point. Okay. All right then. Let us.
Alrighty then. Yeah, it's the X contract too. Yeah.
Let me pull up.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Hang on a second.
All right, here's what we've had overnight. A lot of sideways rolling. Let me bring up, go to the logic. There we go. Okay. All right. So far for the 12th of July, we had a long on copper. Let's take a look at copper. So it was a good session so far. S&P ran to the target. So did the Dow, so did the NQ, the Russell, and copper. We'll look at copper for just a minute. Copper pays $250 per penny. And per penny means if price goes from 269 to 270, that's 1 penny of movement. That pays $250 per contract traded. And what a beautiful move this would have been. Now, this is a 4-tick range. Let's bump it up to a 30. Okay. Below, above, below, above. Now, when it comes out of that, holds this pullback right here. That leads you to this. All right. Now, price gets below. This is the 8 a.m. candle this morning. Let me open it up. There we go. So we've pulled up to the BBC. Okay. So here's your Friday radio freebie. Consider 26870. Two. 26. Two 6870. Right there. Yep. And target 26770. As always, trade and sim until you are consistently profitable. Not just with our methodology, but with anything you trade. You pick up some new shiny indicator or oscillator somewhere. Don't just start throwing money at it and the market. Do the right thing. Exercise some self-discipline. Put it through its paces. Trade it in sim. And then once you're confident that you are, in fact, consistently profitable because your trade log shows you that, then go live with one contract. Our recommendation, our 2420 blueprint, what it teaches. Now, the 2420 blueprint is designed to take you from 1 to 20 contracts over a period of 24 months. That's conservative, using aggressive risk management. The blueprint will walk you through the process of putting together 10 consecutive days in sim where you reach your goal in 10 trades or less, then go live with one. At that point, the blueprint wants you to increase your account balance by $2,000 before adding a second contract. The reason is that second contract and every contract after that will be underwritten by profit you earned in the market. It doesn't mean you're trading with the market's money or house money. It's your money because you earned it. But when you're trading with profit you earned in the market, you sit a little straighter, you stand a little taller, and when you walk, you got a little bit of pep in your step. Any business that you build, if you can fund and fuel the growth of that business internally, that's a great thing. And it is possible to do the same thing in trading, but again, you've got to exercise some self-discipline. And unfortunately, that seems to be a personality trait in short supply with a lot of traders. It's actually something that I have to try to teach. Yeah.
That's where most traders fail. To be honest with you, you can show them everything, you can color code it, but doing the right thing at the right time and not doing the wrong thing at any time is where most traders fail.
That is correct.
You're exactly right.
That is exactly right. Okay. Now, once you've added the second contract, we revert. The blueprint puts you on a calendar-based schedule. In the beginning, it's merit-based. You have to perform, right, to get out of sim, and then you perform, increase your account balance by $2,000 in order to add the second contract. After that, it's calendar-based. You can look at your calendar and you'll know on what day, unless something goes awry, you'll know what day you're going to add your third contract, your fourth, your fifth, your sixth. It gives you something to look forward to, and also it helps you, I believe, to just kind of keep your head down, shoulder to the wheel, don't look left, don't look right, just keep doing the next right thing. How many times do I hear over the course of a week, I knew what I was supposed to do, but I did something different? Why did you do that? I don't know. See, when we have an account with cash in it and a mouse in our hand, for some reason, to our lizard brains, everything looks like a trade. Everything looks like an opportunity. When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? But everything isn't a nail, and every trade setup is not a high probability opportunity. What I just put on the screen, that's a high probability opportunity. It is, in fact, the highest probability opportunity that we have, bar none. It just is. Now, sometimes traders are unable to accept that. They want to tinker with it, meddle with it, which is perfectly fine once you become consistently profitable and you've developed some kind of history that leads to your confidence. Then tinker and meddle all you want. But in the beginning, and that's why we start you out in a rules-based environment, because the thinking's already been done. The decisions have already been made. Your job, if you choose to accept it, is to simply do what a trader is supposed to do when they're supposed to do it. If you do that enough times, it becomes how you see the market. It actually becomes how you think about the market. And that's when you're ready to, again, address discretionary things, meddle if you choose to. You don't ever have to, because the wheel that we invented doesn't need to be reinvented because it rolls perfectly fine. So, all right, let's look at, so we looked at copper. Oh, the alert from last night, what was that? That was a long 27025. To 27125. So the swing high, it ran another few ticks. 27025. To 27125. That's $250 per contract traded. One penny of movement, $250 per contract from here to here. That all happened in a 30-minute candle. It was the 4 a.m. Eastern 30-minute candle. Okay. All right. Next, S&P. On the S&P, consider being long 3010 to 3012. Trail if possible. There's 3010. Here's 3010. And the swing high, 3012 and a half. That came in on the 8:30 candle last night. We then, here, just do this. You may have heard me say at some point, important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So we go from 3010 to 3012. We get back below the trigger. We go from 3010 to 3012. We get back below the trigger. We go from 3010 to 3012. We get back below the trigger. And we go from 3010 to 1175. And this time around, 11 and a quarter. Okay. Now, there's a high. There's a lower high. So we'll just have to go with this one. This high was 1175. This high is 11 and a quarter. Okay. This is a current weekly zone, 3003/3004. This is what price has done over the week on the S&P zone-wise. Let me see, 89.90. Below that was 76.77. There we go. And the week started July 7th, which is right here. This was the opening candle right here. So leg and a retracement back up to the zone, confirming good resistance, down to the zone below. We talked about this yesterday. Yeah, John pointed this out too, this head and shoulders pattern. This one wasn't real obvious yet. If you didn't notice, it's a reverse head and shoulders, but there's the head, shoulder, the shoulder. And when a neckline breaks, there he goes, you'll get a measured move. And what a measured move is, it's from the top of the head to the neckline. I'll show you. from the top of the head to the neckline. You just grab that and then take it to the neckline, same distance. And so, in fact, it did deliver, of course, and then some. Okay. All right. So we go back to the zone, consolidate, up to the zone, back down to the zone. This is wide-ranging consolidation right here. Only three things can happen at a weekly trading zone. The most likely, the one you see over and over and over, is consolidation. Second most likely is rejection. The third is the slice, and this is the slice. Price careened through this zone as if it were not even there. And then the market did exactly what we expected to do based on historical observance. When price slices through a zone, it will quite often retrace back to the zone it sliced through, confirm that in this case it's going to be good support, which it was. We got a rejection on that pullback, which is the third thing that can happen when price encounters a weekly zone. Consolidation. Number two is rejection. The least likely is the slice. So the slice, this consolidation led to a slice, which led to a rejection, and then another rejection right up here. And by rejection, in my mind's eye, I always see somebody touching a hot stove and just yanking their hand back, right? You leave a wick in your wake. So we got a leg and a retracement, lower high, we pull back, and we consolidated for a number of hours right here, okay? Now, this congestion, which is readily, you can readily see it on this 30-minute chart, okay? Consolidation, congestion. Point is, on a smaller time frame, you may not get the memo that the market right now really isn't suitable for trading. Price runs up only to get turned down, to turn back up, to turn back down, to turn back up, to turn back down, to turn back up, to turn back down, to turn back up. You really want to get out of this, out of this area, okay? What, on a 4-tick range, if you find yourself getting stopped out repeatedly, if you have a series of stop outs back to back, back out of there, look at a larger time frame. Now, even on your 4-tick range, you should be aware of where your zones are. And so as you come into this zone, there's two things you expect. One, you expect it to be good resistance until it isn't. And number two, you expect price to consolidate at the zone, as it does over and over again and again. Also, new passport holders, make sure Monday morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern, check your inbox, because you'll have an email that has your zones for next week. It will also have your link and your password to get into the live training room all week. Okay. More consolidation. We took a run at the zone below. Couldn't get there. A little bit unusual. It happens. Come back to the zone, consolidate again. Then we launched this move that has just, it's rolled sideways. It gave us that 3010 to 3012 a number of times. But the market seems to have no energy right now to get up and go anywhere. All right, so that was the S&P. And we had a similar alert for the Dow. Oh, let me check and see, is John here? I jingled his phone. There he is. Hey, John, are you there? He's there all along.
John is there.
And I missed his call. Oh, I need to
I
turn
was
the
just-
ringer on my phone. Hey, John,
that's
welcome
okay.
to the show.
Thank you. Thanks very much. I was just looking at the previous chart that you,
The S&P?
yeah, it looks like it's just itching, just can't wait to break out higher here. It looks
It
really
does,
bullish.
yeah. And our next zone overhead, for this week is 3020/21.
It looks like it'd be there by 4 o'clock.
You know, it certainly
You
could
know,
be, and if not,
it's
today, then Sunday night. Yeah, I think it can.
You might get a late surge into the close today, which would possibly put us up that much. The Dow is in a more steep incline here.
Yeah, it sort of decoupled from the.
Well, I tell you
S&P.
what's helping it. Look, Goldman Sachs, the banks, J.P. Morgan, and Goldman Sachs are going gangbusters, and what you call it, credit card company.
Visa, MasterCard.
Yeah, Visa, but is also going huge, and the Boeing is looking very bullish. Actually, looks like it's bottomed, and it's made a higher low, and it's giving me a pretty strong buy signal here. And the FedEx, which we talked about a couple of days ago, turned back up, and that's actually acting really bullish today. The transports are breaking out to the upside as well. So, you know, we could be looking at a Dow theory buy signal of sorts coming into play here soon, which would be mega bullish if that happens. The Chinese stocks are
John, for the audience, what is a Dow theory buy signal?
That's when the transports make an all-time high or a higher high than the Dow, you know, like a higher multi-month high or a higher yearly high, and then the Dow follows. If the transport's leading the way, that's really, really bullish. We're not quite there yet. You know, what you don't want to see is, you know, which we're probably going to see in a few months' time, is we'll probably see the Dow go to an all-time high. It might be the last man standing, and you know, maybe you won't see it confirmed by the NASDAQ or the S&P or the mid-cap. By the way, the mid-cap I don't think is confirmed as the all-time highs yet, which is a bit of a problem, frankly. You know, it's look, what that tells you is that the market's great, but it's not as strong as it was, you know, the last time we made all-time highs in multiple indices. So unless the Russell pulls ahead to an all-time high, you're not, you know, the market is just technically not as strong as it was like a year ago when we made all-time highs, and you have to take that into account because as we go higher, gradually less and less indices will be making new highs together. I mean, there was a time, if you remember, probably about a year and a half ago, when we were screaming higher going into December and January all-time highs, where maybe as many as 12 indices were making all-time highs together. That's probably down to 5 or 6 right now, or even less, or maybe down, because you know, don't forget, you got the advanced decline line is still going higher. So, you know, look, it's still a pretty good, strong market. And if the Fed cuts rates, you know, that could be pretty bullish for the Russell as well. Obviously, if the Russell pulls to a new all-time high, it's almost like a new, you know, if everything is at an all-time high within a month or two, i.e., the Russell, the semiconductors, the technicals, et cetera, you know, all of those, the more indices that are making all-time highs, obviously the stronger the market is. You know, the day that the Dow is the last one making all-time highs, then you know, it's time to go short. Pretty much, that's what happened last October, and it happened a little bit. You know, before this last correction, there was the Dow kind of surged to a new high and wasn't confirmed by a couple of these other indices. But right now, the Russell looks like it's about to maybe break out here. So the fact that Boeing looks really good, and look, Nvidia is improving. Apple, of course, you know, most of the FANGs are doing great. Amazon just became a $1 trillion company again yesterday, I think. And Facebook, you know, stumbled a bit yesterday because they weren't invited to the White House, and same with Twitter. You know, that's all ancient history now. They're back up today. So everything's going pretty well, actually, except Netflix is about the only reason. You know, Netflix and Intercept are the two, and AGIO. There's still a lot of problems with the with the LABU and the pharmaceutical stocks. And even Amgen, which is a big leader. The good news is the dollar is breaking down. It's funny. I was thinking this morning. Remember a long time ago when Prince Al Walid was in 2007, came on CNBC and said he'd never sell his Citicorp stock. It was 50. The all-time high was 55. We were at $54 a share, and that's the day we went short. We basically went short the stock that day, sold it and went short, and I think we did it on air, and that was the end. The next stop was like 75 cents or something, under $1. I think 66 cents it got down to. I think we actually bought it somewhere like 68 cents, eventually covered and reversed. Now, Trump came out yesterday and started bashing the cryptos and said the dollar.
What was that all about? That kind of came out of left field, didn't it?
It kind of did, yeah. But maybe somebody's been talking to him about this Libra and Facebook and all the rest of it, just because of the social media, and he kind of decided to go on a tirade against the cryptos. But he kind of made a possible seminal statement regarding the dollar, sort of saying, the dollar is going to remain almighty forever, pretty much in a tweet. And that feels to me, it kind of reminds me a lot of Prince Al Walid crowing about Citicorp at $54. So I think,
remember that?
I think this could be, because it's just typical, when somebody comes out and says, it's never going to get weaker. He actually said something like that. That's a bad thing to say, and we're down quite a bit today. So I think this could be the beginning of the end for the dollar, actually, right here. And the euros are going up very sharply today, and as is the Japanese yen as well. The euro currencies, when I say euros, I'm talking about the pound and Swiss and the Aussie dollar, the Canadian. All the currencies are rallying pretty strong, and that's helping the gold, which is now up nearly $6 right now. And I think the gold is maybe put the lows in today, and the silver's pulling ahead again quite nicely.
Yeah, let me bring up a chart. Silver
looks quite good on the chart there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. It does.
I don't think there's a lot of risk in being long the metals right here going into the weekend, because if there's any aggro out of Iran, it's going to be bullish for the metals. And given the way the dollar is, it probably looks like not much will go wrong between now and Monday. But they have a tendency to try and bash the gold on Sunday night. But right now you've got the JNUG is pushing almost new highs. The gold, Royal Gold. Look, Royal Gold just hit an all-time high again. This is incredible.
RGLD. Yeah, that thing's really been on a tear. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's a daily chart. Look at how many green candles back to back.
Yeah. It's just a fantastic looking chart, and it's telling you gold's going a lot higher. This could be a big run for gold right here. This could be a big one. It's really turning very bullish. So copper also is acting better. The metal, all of the metals or the palladium's down a bit, but everything else. And by the way, the grains are actually pulling up a lot. I'd probably put a buy stop in on coffee around 108 here, just above the market. Again, just in case something happens, if there's a frost or something, you're going to be locked into a long position. So, and you could probably do the same on orange juice, 105, because the hurricane could could cause some damage to the orange juice crop in Florida as well, or it could even head towards the Rio Grande Valley. So I was looking at that storm this morning, and there was one a few years ago that turned towards the valley pretty sharply and unexpectedly, turned into be a pretty big deal. So, but the beans are up 11, and obviously that's helpful to gold.
And we had that ag report yesterday.
Yeah, well, it's been, it's the grains are all acting, pretty strong here actually. Look like they're going to take another leg upwards. So, but the markets look very, very bullish, and it looks. I mean, we should have. Remember, I said the first 3 weeks of July certainly have lived up to expectations. A little bit slow to get off the mark this year, but they've made up for it in the last few days. And this rate cut is pretty much baked in the cake. By the way, that reason for the bonds going down yesterday was a bad auction.
One of our traders had typed that into the chat box while we were talking. It was a bad bond auction. Did nobody showed up? Were we the only ones buying?
Say again, sorry?
I said, were we the only ones buying our own bonds?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. So, and the oil looks pretty good too. So, and by the way, even the natural gas has bounced back. So there was a fellow on, just happened to catch a bit of Kramer last night, and he was interviewing a guy who's a big natural gas, he's tell you something, the company. I'll just pull it up because he was pretty interesting. He says that the production from the Permian Basin is going to double from 4 to 8 million barrels, which is going to be pretty epic, frankly.
Here's the bonds, John. 30-minute chart. 30-year on a 30-minute chart.
It's probably going to go up again into the Fed announcement. It'll probably rally a bit, but obviously if it breaks down below 153, it's kind of a different ball game.
Well, this looks like a transition to me. So we had down legs, and now I think we'll see some movement higher.
Yeah. I mean, you got to hand it to Trump. In a way, it looks like he's succeeding in getting a rate cut, probably deservedly so. In spite of this is potentially the most unusual rate cut ever.
Expound on that just a little bit.
Well, we've made 110 all-time record highs, and right. I don't think anybody's cut rates with the Dow at an all-time high before. So, kudos to Trump, because he's kind of, pushing his own market, if you like, and helping. But this could be. I would say that a couple of if they do 3 rate cuts, maybe 3/4 of a point or even a point, it's probably gonna extend this recovery by another year or two, and probably gonna get some growth, higher growth than expected, possibly add a point of growth or more to even a 3%. We'd probably keep it at 3%, might get 4 or 5 or 6. And there could be a kind of crescendo. I mean, you could have a big rally right into the election of 2020. I mean, it could be a massive upside move still, because we're not out of bullets yet. You've got a lot of money still coming back from overseas. You've got a lot of new money coming into the U.S., new investments, companies coming into the U.S. You've got a lot of defense contracts coming into being, that were put together a year or two ago, that are probably either starting or already underway. A lot of ships being built, planes being built. You got an unbelievable order book. 4,000 or 5,000 planes in backlog. I mean, it's really an incredible economy, and it's short of people, potentially short of people. So the economy is pretty tight, and employment, while it popped up a little bit, unemployment, it could still trend down further over the next year, which would be obviously very, very bullish for Trump. And there is a possibility that you can have a kind of a real spike, sort of a typical crescendo type end to this growth cycle, because it kind of feeds on itself. Remember, still got the infrastructure bill. I mean, look, if they can get through the 2020, and if Trump wins, if they win back the House, the sort of things that they can do, and probably going to put another tax cut in. They're going to probably make the tax cut permanent, and then they might give a little bit of a break to the middle class. Then they do the infrastructure bill. If it's a $2 trillion infrastructure bill, that will be an unbelievable amount of new stimulus. So, you could see this thing going all the way to 2022,
Right? You need to get that?
Hang on a second.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, we covered S&P, which was, you back? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. So again, just like yesterday, it's another great day. By the way, the semiconductors are up a lot today as well. And in fact, Micron, which has been a difficult, it's been kind of a real dog for the last year or so. It's actually just about to break out to new highs today. In fact, a lot of stocks are kind of close to breaking out to new 6-month highs or yearly highs today, which is really a big deal. And incidentally, Tesla, remember we talked about Tesla a while back? Saying it was probably worth taking a shot at it at the last low.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the last low, when we said that, it was at about 180, and it's at 245 right now, 244. So it really has had an amazing rebound. And apparently they're overwhelmed with orders for the Model 3.
What's new and improved on the Model 3?
No, they're just getting a lot of orders. They're so it jumped up pretty big yesterday, and it's really been quite an amazing recovery actually. This stock.
If you can get above 260, then we should see 300 potentially.
Yeah, absolutely right. In fact, that would be a kind of a head and shoulders. If we got up to 260, it might pull back to 240, 230, and then it could really go like a rocket back up towards 400. And remember, he's a very formidable guy. This fellow,
Yes. Yeah.
And don't forget the trucks. The Tesla trucks are going to coming into being pretty soon, and I think they're going to be a very, for trucking companies, they're going to be. It's going to be hard to not be interested in from the possible lower cost of running and better gas mileage, et cetera, and ultimately automation, as well.
Yeah, right here, Tesla Semi on autopilot, spotted on the highway.
Right.
Look up in your rearview mirror. There's an 18-wheeler bearing down on you, and there's no driver at the wheel. I think I would just pull over and let him go by.
Yeah.
Driverless Tesla Semi. Yeah. Yeah, I see that approaching from behind. I'm just gonna pull over.
Yeah. So, well, listen, have a great weekend.
Hey, John, you too.
Yeah.
Great talking to you. And let's
Yes,
chat over the weekend. Okay, guys, we covered the S&P 3010 to 3012. The Dow, consider being long, 27155. Turn this off. I hear it in the background. There we go. Okay. So there's 95 points available. The Dow, the Logic 247 alert triggered 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. In Q, Logic said to consider being a long 79.32. So we hit that $400 per contract target. once, twice, 3 times. And the Russell went from zone to zone to zone. Price is always trying to get to a zone. Either the zone below or the zone overhead. And once you're able to discern and determine which zone any one of these markets is currently trying to get to, you just got to make yourself available to the opportunity. When price closed below this weekly trading zone, when price sliced through this weekly trading zone, and this candle opened, and we took out the low of this candle. If it's not obvious to you right now, once you've spent a couple of mentoring sessions with me, it will become apparent. Price is trying to get to the zone below. Always trying to get to a zone. Zones show up in your inbox Monday morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern. As the week progresses, they're carved in stone. We don't change them, massage them, manipulate them in any way. So from 1562 down to 1556, from the point that you can logically state prices trying to get to the zone below, we don't know that it will. There's no guarantee that it will. But we can see that that's what it's trying to do. So from 62 down to 56, that's 6 points. Russell pays $50 per point. That's a $300 per contract move. From here to here. For the traders who've earned the right to trade 10 contracts, as an example, then that becomes a $3,000 per contract move. Okay. When price leaves the station at this zone, right, we're able to logically discern and determine that price is attempting to get to the zone below, because it's always trying to get to a zone. It got there. It consolidated, which is also what we expect to happen. It's the most likely thing to happen. Only 3 things can happen. By the open of this candle, it's pretty obvious, logical, the price is attempting to go to the zone overhead. As I said, it doesn't mean it's going to get there, but knowing what the market is trying to do, what its objective is, what the goal is. Now, the goal is obviously to get to this zone here. Didn't quite make it. The swing high was 65.30. The zone was at 67. So 1.7 off of that. But on the open of this candle, you got a pretty good idea what the market's trying to do. So from 58 up to 64, that's 6. $50 a point. It's $300 per contract traded. More if you've earned the right to trade multiple contracts. Price then is not able to get there on this leg, so it comes back to where? Back to the zone. Consolidates and winds its way to the zone overhead. Consolidates, zone overhead, back to the zone below, back to the zone overhead. It's a logical progression, and you'll learn to follow that. You'll learn to develop your own narrative. Everything that I just walked through here, talking about this and about this, and you'll be able to do that yourself. See, our goal is not just to daze and amaze you with profitable trade alerts. Our real goal is to teach you to see exactly what we see, using the tools that we use. In the beginning, an alert is just that. It alerts you to an opportunity. But down the road, as you learn our methodology, learn to use our indicators, learn to think the way we think, see the market the way we see it, the alert becomes more of a confirmation. Because 2, 3, 6 months down the road, you see the opportunities as they develop. You see it on the chart. Whoa, they're playing my song. Dee-dee-dee. Then it comes a Telegram alert, which is alerting all the new traders to the opportunity. And to you who now have some experience, it's confirming what you already saw. That's a good thing. All right, so the S&P, the Dow, the Russell, the NQ, I think that was, and copper, those were the ones for this session. And as I wrap up the show here, I think we're going to have a couple more opportunities, probably on the long side, as we head into the close. Now, this is the next weekly zone overhead for the S&P. Yeah, let's wrap up with some radio freebies. Let's go 3015 to 3018 and tip trail if possible. That's another thing that will teach you how to recognize when the market is conducive to staying with a trade and following it through until the market gives you an exit signal. 3015 to 3018. Oh, the swing trade we initiated yesterday was stopped out early on. Okay, it didn't give us those big opportunities that we saw in the first two, but that's the truth about trading. That's what happens. I've updated the Telegram channel for the swing trade beta test. All I have to do is go back in and note that number 3 was stopped out. I'll put a chart. And Sunday night on Globex, I won't initiate a new swing today. I will wait till the Globex open. And if I see something appropriate, then that will be published Sunday night. And again, the beta test, we still have 2 more weeks. I'm going to do a 3-week beta. We have 3 trades under the belt so far. I'll ask Valerie to please put the link in the chat box. So if you want to participate in the remainder, the next 2 weeks, there's no cost. Just you need Telegram, and she'll show you how to do that as well. Okay. It's 3015 to 3018 on the Dow. Now the next zone on the Dow, way up there. Okay. NQ. Let's see. Okay, we had a zone right here at 79.60. So 79.60. The next one above that, way up there. 81.22. We don't have to worry about getting there today. But I do see some opportunity. 79.70 to 79.80 looks good. Crude. We didn't have anything on crude last night. We did have a daily double today on crude. And it looks like that might be coming into play right here. 60.30 to 60.10. Okay. Gold. Yeah, gold. I'm not too excited about gold. I don't see anything there that I want to embrace at the moment. Okay, that copper that I put up here at the beginning of the show, that was last night's alert. This one has never triggered. When you see Z's next to an alert in the channel, something like this, okay? We're looking for another leg to the downside. Market has other ideas. That's okay. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So, no trigger. Could this turn around? Could this be a head fake to the upside? Could we, in fact, see that down leg unfold still? Absolutely. Absolutely. If we go from the swing high to the swing low. We still haven't hit the 62% fib retracement. Between the 50 and the 62 right now. From the high to the low. There we sit. So we're not going to mark that with Z's just yet. In fact, I don't think I put it in the channel yet, but I'm probably going to as an official alert. So is that move still possible? Absolutely. Okay. All right then. Let me check the chat box. David, I'm just seeing your question now. Were those YM numbers? Well, here's the YM. Is this the one you mean? Now, on crude, you said, is oil a sell? Well, yes. The high probability move right now, from where we sit, where we stand, is a move down. Potential support, of course, at this swing low, and then beyond that, weekly trading zone below. So, yes, that is correct. Tim, the down numbers again were 27260 to 27300. And again, the highest weekly zone on the Dow is way up there at 27,540/45. So that's down. Crude. Are those current weekly zones? No, they're not. I didn't update this chart yet. So we're sitting at 60.50. So the zone below is 59. We've got a big area here. 59. $59.05. 59, 59.05. I'll fix it later. Then the zone overhead is way up at 6120/25. Now that doesn't change anything about the numbers that I just put on the chart. Those were last week's zones. All right. So, yeah, a lot of room to move here. I still like a 60-30 to 60-10, but putting the proper zones on, okay, creating that framework that we depend on. I just hadn't put them on this particular chart. Of course, I always have them here in front of me. So, one of two things is going to happen, right? Not a lot of absolutes in the world of trading, but it's pretty certain. Prices either going to get above this trend line, hold it on a pullback, and then I would like 60.95 to 61.15. I'll put that on here, 60.95 to 61.15. $200 per contract move. 60.95 to 61.15. One of these will trigger. Whichever one triggers, I believe, it is a high probability that if it triggers, price will reach the target. Now, if the 60-30 triggers first, I do believe that is the highest probability at this point. Okay, I already know what the structure of the market looks like. If it triggers any time here, the next 10, 15 minutes, half hour, the structure of the market won't change. To get up to 60.95 and trigger, there could be all kinds of peaks and valleys and different things. The structure of the market, I have no idea what the structure of the market will look like if we get to 60.95. Follow me? So I'll have to address that part of it when price gets there. In this case, the 60.30 to 60.10 price is already there. I mean, we're just sitting at 60.43. Before I talk to you Monday or Sunday night, I firmly believe one of these will have triggered and run to the target, right? From all of the infinite possibilities that exist in the world of trading, infinite possibilities, we just dialed it down to 2, either or. I'll teach you how to do that, okay? All right. S&P, yeah, I like that. We'll see what happens. We still got a few hours left
Sorry,
to trade
I
today.
don't know that.
I wasn't talking to you, okay? But thank you. Oh, I'm going to play a good song for you on the outro today. You may have already heard it. Symphony. Good tune. Okay. Good word for the day, then a good tune, and I'm up and out of here. Off into the weekend. So it was a great July 12th. Great day to be a CFR Analogic 247 trader. Again, welcome to all the new passport holders. And if you missed that boat, by golly, if you're on the trial last week and you want to become a passport holder, get a hold of Valerie. If you're interested in the next trial that we offer, if you haven't already taken the trial, it's one trial every 6 months. If you haven't taken the trial and you're interested in the next trial, let Valerie know. And once I have a reasonable number of people who are interested, we'll launch another Logic trial and open house, okay? It won't be this coming week, but get your name on the list, because I like to keep the classes small so that I can pay attention to each individual that's participating, okay? All right. I gave you this link earlier, I believe. Let me give it to you again. Oh, Jim, you always bring a smile to my face. My face could use a smile, that's for sure. Okay. All right, we'll put this in again. Free affiliate account. There we go. Put it in the chat box. Throw it in the other one as well. Okay. Then I'm going to give you the Telegram link. I'm going to put a lot of videos in this channel over the weekend. Okay? A lot of training, information. So now the guy that spoke at the webinar last night really knew his stuff. Now, this was not a corporate sponsored event. This was a private meeting for a private team, and we were invited to join in. I did record it. At the beginning of that webinar is very shaky, because it's just somebody setting something up, I think in their house or something, I'm not sure. But once the presentation begins and the guy starts to talk, he does know his stuff. In fact, I believe we're going to have him here on the show next week for an interview and to answer questions, all that jazz. Also in the channel, in the Carrot Bar channel, hang on. Let me get the link. Oh, here it is. The first video that I've posted in there, it's called Hidden Secrets of Money. There's multiple parts to that. This is just part one. I'll be posting the rest of those in there as well. Okay. So here's the Telegram channel. I'm putting that in right now. Okay, there it is. And there it is again. If you have any questions, there we go. If you have any questions about anything, you can always reach me in Telegram, or you can email support@cfrn.net, or you can call 949-42 E-Mini. 949-42 E-Mini. All right. As soon as I find my notes, we're headed to our good word for the day. In the absence of my notes, I guess I'll have to go find my notes. Here they come. So what are you looking at? You, what are you looking at? Keep your eyes on Jesus, not people. John 21:21. Peter asked Jesus, "What about him, Lord?" The Bible says, Peter turned around and saw behind them the disciple Jesus loved, the one who had leaned over to Jesus during supper and asked, "Lord, who will betray you?" Peter asked Jesus, "What about him, Lord?" Jesus replied, "If I want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you? As for you, follow me." So the rumor spread among the community of believers that this disciple would not die. But that isn't what Jesus said at all. He only said, if I want him to remain alive until I return, what's that to you? We can all learn from that. When Peter asked Jesus, "What about him, Lord?" he was referring to the Apostle John, who enjoyed an especially close relationship with Christ. Jesus basically said, get your eyes off John and keep them on me. Follow me and you too can have a close relationship with me. In this world, people will disappoint you, just as you probably disappoint them from time to time. But Jesus will never disappoint you if you keep your eyes on him and follow him. Even with the best of intentions, people will give you poor advice, and you'll give them poor advice. But Jesus won't. He doesn't merely know the way. He says in John 14:6, I am the way. He says in John 8:12, he who follows me shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. So the word for you today is about one of the most fundamental principles in Christian living. Get your eyes off people and keep them on Jesus. And that's our good word for the day. It is the weekend. CFRN Charter dictates that you really should spend some quality time with your family. Of course, I'll see you in church on Sunday. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with his mercy and with his grace. And I'll see you at the bell. Insert awkward silence, please. I really got to fix that audio, huh?
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell in securities. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.
Alexa, play Symphony by Switch.
Here's a station for you. Orchestral music on
Alexa.
Amazon Music.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, play Symphony by Switch.
Symphony by Switch, featuring Dylan Chase, starting now on Amazon Music.
You're gonna like this.
Sometimes it's hard to breathe. All these thoughts that shout at me, try to bring me to my knees, and it's overwhelming. Darkness echoes all around. Feels like everything is crashing down. Still I know where my hope is found, and it's only you and ooh. You say you're working everything for my good, and ooh, I believe every word. 'Cause even in the madness, there's peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you are writing a symphony, a symphony. And even in the madness, there's peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you are writing a symphony. A symphony, oh. To my heart, to your beat, let me be your melody, even when I cannot see. But you're orchestrated, even when the dark surrounds. You'll never let me drown. I know that my hope is found in the name of Jesus. Ooh, you say you're working everything for my good, and ooh, I believe every word. 'Cause even in the madness, there's peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you are writing a symphony, a symphony. And even in the madness, there's peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you are writing a symphony, a symphony.
Yeah, I wanna truly know if you compose beautiful music, though. From all my unruly notes, the distance is distant, it's moving close. Now I see, erase the scales from my eyes, then play the scale of my life. Chaos played off with a chord and a chord with a source, preventing through strifing. I've tasted suffering, I've been embraced by the painful buffering. I've been bound by doubt so loud right now, but a melody is made when you play these rusty keys. So we all gotta get pressed, tuned up like instruments. But I know all of life's tempo is set whenever we remember this.
In the madness, there's peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you are writing a symphony, a symphony. And even in the madness, there's peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you are writing a symphony, a symphony, oh, oh, oh.
Much love. See you Sunday night. Globex Open.